In November of 2012, a small fishing boat left the coast of Mexico expecting what should have been a routine day of work. On board were two fishermen, José Salvador Alvarenga and a young crewmate named Ezequiel Cordoba. They were used to long hours on the water. Offshore fishing requires patience, endurance, and an understanding that the ocean can change quickly. But nothing about that day suggested what was about to happen. Not long after leaving shore, a powerful storm began building across the Pacific. Winds intensified. Waves grew larger. And the small fishing boat was suddenly fighting conditions far beyond what it had been designed to handle. Their radio failed. The engine struggled against the waves. And within hours, the fishermen realized they had lost control of their direction. The ocean had taken over. The storm pushed their boat farther and farther from shore. When the storm finally passed, the horizon revealed a terrifying reality. Land was gone. There were no ships nearby. The fishermen had drifted into one of the largest bodies of water on Earth. At first, survival didn't seem impossible. The boat was still floating. They had some basic equipment, and they believed rescue might arrive within a few days. But days turned into weeks, and the ocean remained empty. Food became the first challenge. Fishing gear had been lost in the storm. Without it, the men had to rely on their hands. They caught fish when they could. They caught turtles. Sometimes seabirds landed nearby and became another rare source of food. Water became an even greater problem. The sun above the Pacific can be relentless. Without fresh water, dehydration becomes deadly within days. The fishermen survived by collecting rainwater whenever storms passed. When rain didn't come, they drank turtle blood to stay alive. Weeks passed. The human body can endure extraordinary conditions when survival instincts take over. But the mind faces a different battle. Long periods of isolation can slowly break a person's sense of time and hope. At sea, days blend together. Sunrise, sunset, darkness. Then the same cycle begins again. After several weeks, the psychological strain began affecting the younger fisherman, Cordoba. He struggled with the idea of eating raw animals to survive. He refused food. He grew weaker. And eventually, he died on the drifting boat. For Alvarenga, the loss created a new challenge. Now he was completely alone. Alone on a small boat drifting across the Pacific Ocean. Survival now depended entirely on his ability to endure both the physical and psychological weight of isolation. Weeks became months. Alvarenga continued catching fish and turtles with his hands. He spoke aloud to himself to keep his mind active. He watched birds to estimate how far he might be drifting from land. And every day he scanned the horizon hoping to see another ship. But the Pacific is vast. Entire weeks passed without seeing another vessel. By the time 100 days had passed, the human body would normally begin failing under such extreme conditions. But survival stories often reveal something surprising. Humans can endure far more than we believe possible. After drifting for 133 days across thousands of miles of open ocean, Alvarenga finally saw something different on the horizon. Land. His boat had drifted all the way to the Marshall Islands in the western Pacific. When he finally reached shore, the fishermen living there were shocked by what they saw. A man who had crossed the Pacific Ocean alone, for more than 4 months, with almost no supplies, surviving on raw fish, turtles, rainwater, and determination. The story of José Salvador Alvarenga reveals something powerful about survival at sea. The ocean does not always defeat people with storms. Sometimes it simply removes control and waits to see how long a person can endure. As Alvarenga stood on the sandy shores of the Marshall Islands, he struggled to comprehend the reality of his survival. Groggy and disoriented, he took in the bustling life around him, contrasting sharply with the desolation he had faced for months. Questions raced through his mind. Who would believe his story? Would these strangers be able to understand the true depths of his suffering? He began to speak haltingly, recounting his journey as villagers gathered, their expressions shifting from disbelief to awe. Each word was a testament to not just physical endurance, but an indomitable spirit that defied the odds. The villagers listened intently as Alvarenga described the relentless storms, the days drifting aimlessly, and the loss of his companion Cordoba. His voice wavered at moments, revealing the weight of grief he carried within. He shared tales of the starry nights, where solitude felt less haunting when he traced constellations, finding solace in their permanence amidst his ever-changing reality. As he shared these intimate moments, he noticed tears in the eyes of some villagers who recognized the profound impact of human resilience. They gathered closer, urging him to continue, eager to grasp the raw essence of his harrowing journey and to understand the battle he had fought against the vastness of the ocean and the depths of despair. Alvarenga spoke of the moments when despair threatened to consume him, describing how he often closed his eyes and imagined the comforts of home, the laughter of friends, the scent of the earth after rain, and warm meals shared with family. Each memory was a lifeline, pulling him back from the brink of hopelessness, reminding him that he was still fighting for his return. The villagers nodded in understanding, their own lives shaped by the rhythms of nature, resonating with the heartbeat of Alvarenga's account. He elaborated on the raw taste of turtle blood, how it became not just sustenance, but a symbol of survival against overwhelming odds. They felt the weight of his experience with each blood-soaked word, the visceral reality of existence on the precipice of life and death. As he articulated his emotional and physical battles, a connection forged through shared humanity sparked between him and the crowd, illuminating the truth that survival extends beyond mere physical endurance. A calm fell over the audience as Alvarenga finished recounting his story, and they shared in a moment of collective silence, reflecting on the fragility of life. One elder approached him gently, eyes glistening with empathy, and offered him a woven bracelet, a token of strength and solidarity. "You are not alone anymore," the elder said, his voice steady yet tender. Alvarenga felt the warmth of the villagers envelop him, grounding him in a world far removed from the torment of isolation. As they welcomed him into their community, it became clear that this experience had not only sculpted Alvarenga's existence, but it had interwoven his fate with theirs. Where despair had lingered, hope now grew. The story of survival transformed into a shared legacy, one that would reverberate through generations. As Alvarenga embraced this newfound connection, he began to realize that survival was not merely about enduring the elements, but also about the bonds formed through shared pain and resilience. The villagers, with their open hearts, became a collective lifeline, tending to his wounds and filling his spirit with renewed purpose. With each day, he learned their customs, shared laughter, and contributed to the community that had welcomed him. He felt the heavy burden of loneliness start to lift, replaced by a sense of belonging that had eluded him for over 4 months at sea. The lessons of hardship transformed into stories told around campfires, bridging past despair with hopeful futures yet to come. In this vibrant new chapter of his life, Alvarenga understood that while the ocean had tested his limits, it had also prepared him for the beauty of connection and the strength found in unity. As days turned into weeks, Alvarenga found himself fully immersed in the rhythm of village life. He watched as fishermen set out at dawn, their laughter carried by the ocean breeze, a stark contrast to the silence he had known. With each passing day, he shared not only his story, but also learned of theirs, tales of storms weathered and traditions kept alive. Alvarenga discovered the healing power of community, where each shared meal, song, and laughter reaffirmed that survival was more than just physical endurance. It was the connections woven between kindred souls that truly sustained life's spirit. In that vibrant community, Alvarenga's journey became a beacon of courage, inspiring others to embrace hope amid adversity. The narrative of survival transformed from his individual struggle into a collective tale, illustrating the strength found in unity and the enduring human spirit against all odds.